Hey, if you were with us yesterday, you know we talked about a really volatile issue, pornography. We talked about its effects on the family and on the individual. Instead of talking a lot about how to fight pornography and deal with it individually and put people on the spot, I decided to do an instant replay spotlight today and just give you 4 things that are necessary in overcoming pornography. So I want to start by mentioning the first one, and that's that you've got to admit that you've got a problem. A lot of times when we keep things hidden, they never get dealt with appropriately. And so I want to encourage you, if you're struggling with pornography, you need to admit the fact that it's an issue for you. If you're married, it usually starts with admitting it to your spouse, either your husband or your wife. If you're a single individual, it means admitting it to someone that you can trust, maybe your pastor, maybe a mentor that you have, or it could mean that you set up an appointment and go see a counselor. But admitting that you have a problem is necessary in beginning to deal with this issue. Yeah. Secondly, in dealing with pornography, you've got to become accountable. And that means that you have to have someone who is helping you along the way. You can't do it alone. The impact that pornography has on you physically is very similar to the effect that crack cocaine has on you. And without someone helping you, then it's going to be impossible to deal with this issue. Generally speaking, you can find a counselor who will help you, will give you resources to do that. And there's groups like Sexaholic Anonymous that you can go to and become involved in. But without having accountability in your life, you're going to be wasting your time trying to deal with this issue. Accountability is key. The third thing I want to recommend is you have to remove whatever triggers you have in your life that prompt you to want to use pornography. If you're a businessman and you come in late at night to a hotel room and you're there by yourself, you need to make sure that all of the cable channels that would prompt you to do something that you don't want to do, that you'll regret, make sure those are scrambled. If you have a computer that you utilize on your own, immediately have a filter put on it. Have someone be able to look at that computer and evaluate the sites that you're going to. If things are stressful for you and you find that to be a trigger point, then you need to find ways of releasing stress through exercise, through meditation, through prayer, things that will help you overcome the triggers. But you need to determine what those triggers are and make sure that you remove those as best you can from your life so that you won't be prompted to go to the addiction that's ruining your life. The fourth step that I want to encourage you to take is to never let yourself be alone. Isolation is a very, very detrimental thing when you're dealing with pornography. As much as you can, try to be around people, with people, talking with people. If you're a businessman and you find yourself isolated at night in a hotel room by yourself, then maybe you call your wife or your husband at a particular time and spend time talking with them and praying with them. But isolation is not something that will help you in dealing with this problem. So make sure, as often as you can, that you're around people, with people that will help you deal with this issue. Let me share with you some resources that we want to provide for you to help you as you seek to conquer the porn addiction that you may have. Number one, we've got a resource card, and on this resource card we've got a number of sites that you can go to. Sites for family, sites for individuals. There's sites there that you can get software to put on your computer to prevent you from going to sites that you don't need to be at. But we provided this for everyone that was at church, and it's also on our website. So I want to encourage you, if you missed yesterday, to go to the website and look at these resources that are available. Then we've got books that we've provided. One's by Beth Moore and one's by Max Lucado. And both of these books are centered on overcoming whatever strongholds that exist in your life. And certainly if porn is a stronghold that you struggle with, these books would be beneficial for you. But make sure that you don't walk past the table and not pick one of these books up. Because remember, it's hard for us to deal with this issue alone. These books provide a helpful resource for you. Then finally, I want to mention the most important thing. None of us can deal with this issue without the help of God. And you remember when we started the series Hostage, I talked about the resurrection power that Christ gives us. And I want you to know that He'll give that to you. It starts by having a relationship with Him. And if you've got one, then I want to encourage you to rely on Him to provide you the power, the strength to overcome this addiction. You're not abnormal. There are a lot of people that struggle with this, but there are a lot of people that overcome it. And I want you to be one of those individuals. And it starts by having the relationship with God that you need to have.